I am Connor Banks for the Democratic Party of America. I currently stand for better gun control, better economic policies, including taxes on corporations and tax breaks for small businesses and small families. I believe in strengthening individual rights, such as the right to marriage. I believe in strengthening and supporting women's right to choose. I believe in defending those outside of our nation that need defending, such as the Ukraine. And I believe in listening to everybody in this room, getting a feel for what the American people needs and not just saying what I think we need. But it really is, I'm your candidate, and I hope you see it that way. I would start with raising corporate tax rates so that we can lower tax brackets under $243,725 by 4%. That would bring the lowest tax rates from 10% to 6%, which would strengthen our weakest and our poorest communities rather than strengthening our richest. I would institute a graduated corporate tax, which essentially means that the wealthier your company is, the more you get taxed, so that we are not punishing smaller corporations, smaller businesses. It's not what America is. We need to strengthen our local communities. I agree with my candidates, or maybe they agree with me. American production needs to be strengthened. We can't have monopolies running around like Amazon, like Google. A monopoly is not America, it is the death of capitalism. I would move to raise the minimum wage, federal minimum wage, from $7.25 an hour, which brings it a yearly annual salary to about $15,000, which is in no way livable. $12 would raise the minimum wage, as well as I would raise the quota for the poverty line, which may sound bad, but what it means is that if you are making $16,000 currently, you don't get the support of the government. Raising the quotient for falling under the poverty line allows those who are struggling just above to get support from the government, which is what we need. I would also institute a wealth tax or a capital gains tax, meaning the stocks that are currently untaxed, which account for much of the wealthiest in America. Much of their net worth is in their stocks. Untaxed, we're making $0 off that. We could make billions of dollars. Jeff Bezos, from 2006 to 2018, his wealth increased by $127 billion. And yet he reported a total of $6.5 billion in income. He's one of the richest men in America, and yet he pays less than, I imagine, most of Americans do in their collective. Essentially, I would just like to restate my opponents agree with me. I don't see why you wouldn't vote for the one who's pushing these policies the hardest. Laid out plainly, our greatest enemy for much of the 20th century was the Soviet Union. Ukraine is under threat, and after Ukraine goes, Russia has been enacting military war games in other previously Soviet countries. If Ukraine goes, who's to say the rest won't follow? We cannot allow the Soviet Union to restructure. Ukraine needs to be defended. We are sending weapons, but as my candidate would probably say, her party has wished to remove some of that funding. That's foolish. We can't let this country die. They should be our ally. They should be our greatest ally in their time of need. Same with Palestine. The Palestinian conflict, we should seek a two-state solution rather than giving Israel all of this land. I don't believe that we should befriend Russia. I don't believe we should take money from AIPAC, the Israel super PAC. And I believe we should focus our attention where it's needed on the global stage. Put more money into USAID and send more support to the Ukraine and Palestine. I would like to talk about my position on gun control. Gun control in the U.S. is too loose. I don't wish to take away guns. I don't wish to make us a country much akin to Great Britain, where guns are all but banned. I believe that we should have safe ownership, though. The second place country in school shootings, I believe, is Mexico, with somewhere in the ballpark of 8 to 10. The US is well over 300 since 1999 with the Columbine shooting. This is a uniquely American issue that must be solved. California has pretty fair gun control policies with background checks, mental health checks, and restrictions on who is allowed to own firearms. But in many other states, gun shows are allowed to sell firearms with very flimsy background checks. This is how shooters get their weapons. This is how mass shootings has become an American issue. I don't wish to take away guns. I wish to safely enforce them. Guns are an American ideal, and they should stay that way, but mass shootings should not be. I believe that abortion being legalized has never been shown to be a bad thing. I believe a good cutoff is 18 to 20 weeks, obviously higher than my opponents. The embryo develops into a fetus around 9 weeks, which gives a good cushion to decide if this is a burden you can take on and can support. I believe the issue is when children are brought to term in homes that cannot care for them, they end up in the foster care system. And statistics have shown that 3 to 11% of foster children reach higher education. And further than that, 50% of our homeless population has spent time in the foster care system. Why should we focus so aggressively on the child before it is born, but then leave it in the dumpster as soon as it's out? This is a violent and awful solution. We need to raise the date at which abortion can be performed. And further than that, we need to provide legal protections against doctors performing abortions. There's a woman named Adriana Smith who was declared medically brain dead, and she was kept on life support for weeks until her baby was delivered. In many situations, women are put at medical risk, but then are forced to carry to term because their state has restrictions against abortion, and because the doctors are too afraid to perform medically necessary procedures to save their life. Why should we focus on the life of an embryo that may not survive while putting the life of the mother at risk, especially if the child is going to have a horrible life in the foster care system? Why should we not focus on a child after birth? I think I am the best candidate on the stage because many of my opponents' policies are democratic policies. Why would you vote for somebody who is going for a half measure on these policies?
Faux Democrat.
A faux Democrat. They have my policies, but watered down versions. Why would you not just take the full policy, which arguably would protect better than anything they have to offer? I am a longtime member of California's government. I have time with my grandparents' school board, as they have allowed me positions in the school board in Carpinteria. I have decided over many issues within the school system in Carpinteria, and then on a smaller scale, I am the vice president of the Speech and Debate Club, where I'm currently establishing us and hopefully our community as a more dominant presence. I don't believe my candidates have much of the same experience. And then I'm a man of action. As you can, if you look around the room, me and my party arrived here much earlier than my opponents today. I would say I do more than I say. I believe I saw the other day my opponent Fiona put a picture up of her serving on the lunch line, but I haven't seen her there since. I believe that I lay out my policy. I believe I can tell you what I wish to do without philandering, without stepping aside. I believe that my candidates have a harder time achieving that, or my opponents for this candidacy. I believe that I will listen. If anybody has anything to tell me, I will stand and I will incorporate it if it so deserves, which I believe many ideas in this room do deserve to be in my policy. I believe, though my opponents have good ideas for policy, I appreciate the policy on the environment from my opponent to my left here. I believe I simply have a larger array of policy that I can deliver. I won't take any half measures. As you can see, I put effort in, and I'm not going to lie to you, as some may.